let's talk about my preferences, what gets my juices flowing, what makes me tick. What I'm looking for and what I really like is more of a balanced sound signature with a slight bass boost. I like my bass, but I like my bass tight. I like it fast. I like it to hit hard and have some slam. I do not like that extra big bass shelf boost that's sub-bass driven, where the lower bass is scooped out. I think it's really important to have that information down there to make instrumental like piano, guitar, cello sound correct. But also I like the bass fast enough, speedy enough to make kick drums sound great. When it comes to the rest of the mids, I prefer an overall maybe slightly warm tilt. I'm not a big fan of overly analytical, too dry a tuning. I'd rather have something a bit more musical. When we start to climb up into the ear gain region, make that pinna gain not so steep, but give some energy to some body into the mids. Again, making vocals sound correct, making instrumentals sound correct. I'm a big fan of timbre and tonality when it comes to instrumental as well. It has to sound correct to my ears. That 5K area also, I'm a bit sensitive to it. If there's too much information up there, I get fatigue, I get ringing in my ears, and it just doesn't let me play it longer and, more importantly, louder, because I do like my tunes louder. When it comes to the rest of the frequencies up top, I do like an extended treble, but not a peak above the pinna rise. Keep it extended, keep it detailed, but don't put too much energy up there for treble sensitive people like myself. It's got to have enough information to make great stage, to give instrument placement, to make strings sound good, female vocals that aren't too thick. That's what really gets me going, and that's what I'm looking for sound preference wise.
All work, no pleasure. I ain't here to make friends, big stepper. Ay, bad guy, Heath Ledger. Ready for whatever, I'll be front and center. Don't fly too close to the sun, your body chopped up by propellers. Came in arrogant, but left out in a stretcher. Fuck the comparison, y'all know y'all couldn't replicate it. Chillin' in the desert, I'm good under pressure.
Stick around when we hold it down, look at what we found.
This a marathon, not a sprint, let's go 100 miles.
From the ground, with me to the clouds, never coming down.
That's the crown on me, wear it proud, show 'em what we bout.
Stick around when we hold it down, look at what we found.
Said this a marathon, not a sprint, let's go 100 miles.
From the ground, with me to the clouds, never coming down.
That's the crown on me, wear it proud, fuck what they was talking about. All work, no pleasure. I ain't here to make friends, big stepper. Ay, bad guy, Heath Ledger. Ready for whatever, I'll be front and center. Quick to sever, however, whoever. Raining from above, we shooting down through your umbrella. Ay, getting fed up, nothing you could tell us. Snapping every shot I take, just wait till it develops.
Stick around when we hold it down, look at what we found.
This a marathon, not a sprint, let's go 100 miles.
From the ground, with me to the clouds, never coming down.
That's the crown on me.
Hello, wearing red for a good reason. Let's talk about, let's drop a deuce, shall we? I paid $325 for this, plus $40 extra for the 4.4 termination. So $365 Canadian. That has dual dynamic drivers. It's a beautiful, absolutely stunning shell. Love it to smithereens. It's probably the nicest fitting IM that I own. Could wear it all day. Beautiful. I'm not, there was a lot I could say in this video that I'm not. I am taking the high road, and I am keeping it fun, and I'm keeping it real. And that's my motto, and I'm sticking to it, damn it. Fitment. Quite nice. It comes with this blood red cable, which is very, very nice, fabric coated. I should have, here's some advice for all you that have or thinking about picking this up. Scotch guard the thing, because it, in the last couple of weeks, it's picked up some serious dirt, which I wasn't expecting. Comes in this little box. Mine was number 115. And I finally got it. Again, I'm not going into the logistics of actually getting in here and my experiences, because I don't want to, I want to keep this video as light as possible. The unit is bassy. This is a fat frequency. Why did I, the Tone Deaf Monk, buy this unit? Because I'm a fat frequency fan, an FFF. Fat frequency make good shit. Absolutely. Why I bought it, I was hoping to own my very own fat frequency. The other ones I borrowed from friends. It is, let me read you the back first of all. Experience deep focus power with the second generation of fat frequency bass cannon technology. 25 dB bass shelf, expertly controlled under 150 hertz. Fat Frequency's proprietary tubeless system provides a phase-accurate three-dimensional audio experience, placing instruments and vocals precisely within a spacious environment. The Deuce excels in dynamics, capturing both subtle and powerful moments with ease, giving you the best of both worlds at an unmatched value. Designed by Fat Frequency in Singapore. Okay, you know I love calling out marketing. Here's how mine measured on my 711 coupler. Falls a little short of the 25 dB. Part of this whole experience was, oh, well, don't worry, guys. We will fix that somewhere along the line. Somebody got called out, and the marketing guys are having a disconnect with the money guys and having a disconnect, obviously, with the shipping guys. But we're going to give you this at no extra charge, one of these impedance adapters, which will make it harder to drive, but it will boost up the bass shelf for you. Here's how that measures. Okay, moving on. Mid bass. Okay, beginning of my video, I explain my preferences, right? What do I like? What gets my juices flowing? But more importantly to that, why do I say these things? Because accuracy musically, though this set I don't think is going for that. It's, forget the marketing. It's going for bass. It's a bass cannon, really. It's a one-trick pony. I was hoping, I'm in the know. I follow HeadFi. I follow the threads. I follow as closely as possible. I honestly didn't think it'd come out with this tuning. Knocks on guitar. Melissa Etheridge, when I was listening to Melody Gardot, when I was listening to Tom Cochrane, and I love when they play their guitars, acoustic guitars, and they hit the side of the guitar and you can hear that distinct sound of the hollowness. It's a thud of the guitar, the cavity, and the Deuce doesn't get it. Kick drums, male vocals, cello, and this is the tuning, right? So this is how it came out. Later on in this video, I'm going to do a comparison to another IM as well, which is interesting. So the sound-wise of the Deuce for me was missing the hit, the slam that I like. But more importantly, I think you need that to make those kind of instrumentals sound correct. As less rolled offsets do, this is very harmonish. I hate to say that word, but it does. And they're right on the one part of the marketing where it's expertly controlled under 150 hertz. Yes, it is. But you need stuff between 150 to 250 on some tracks. Otherwise, male vocals can sound thin on some tracks, on some songs, and some sources. Now, before the 100 hours of burn-in, stick these things in your ear. Every second song, for me, for that second dynamic driver that's inside of this that does the mids and highs, sounded crunchy. That's the best way I can describe it, and had a harsh tonality to it, with a kind of overcooked overtones to the trailing edge of the notes. And part of that is harmonish. It's upper mids, kind of in-your-face forwardness. But after burn-in, this greatly diminished, and very occasionally did I get that kind of response out of it. But it really comes to light on more revealing sources like the KN-N3 Ultra, the Astle and Kern Con Max, and oh my God, the DC Elite. Warmer sources, Shanlings, more musical, and it seems to balance out that harmonish tuning, whether you love it or hate it, for Harman. Some people do. And the whole reason for doing the big bass shelf, 150 hertz, and keeping the mids clean, right? And yes, it does that until you get to the elevated upper mids. Just to talking about that DC Elite, I love that source. That dongle is killer. It is honest. Wow. Just no on the Deuce. Upper mids are just every song sibilant, cringeworthy. It was a wow factor. The Shanling EH1, the desktop stack dongle thing, was fabulous. Honestly, it was an oh wow. The Deuce is very, very source dependent, and that can't be stated enough. Absolutely. It needs a smoother, warmer sound to add some body and depth to, especially those lower mids and lower bass. Cable rolling. I didn't. Honestly, I was absolutely terrified of pulling out this. I've seen more than a few people have taken account of the shell chipping where around the 2-pin connector goes. So I didn't dare. To give you some track impressions of how I thought this thing sounded with music, right? Ambiguous Mr. Lovegood by Dead Can Dance. I use this for stage and spaciousness. So let's talk about that three-dimensional audio experience. Not really. This is a very intimate stage, just so you know, which isn't a knock against it. It's some people, and I do love that on certain chill IMs. And this could be for you. Let's talk about how the Deuce sounded, and then I'm going to interject into another IM here. I told you I paid $365 Canadian. This other one I bought from Amazon.ca is called the AOSHIDA E20, and why I picked it up is there was talk. There was more than a few people said, "Hey, just so you know, this tuning is like bang on the same." So I'm going to talk about that as well. I paid $36. That's 1/10 the price of the Deuce. Got it here the next day. The Deuce has, in comparison to these two, listening side by side, now I'm throwing this in the mix, right? It's going into the ring. Gloves are coming off. The Deuce definitely has significantly more bass. Darker sounding mids and treble. The hi-hats sound better on the E20 with overall more balanced sound, and more information up top gives a bigger stage, and vocals come through with more clarity, cleaner. Over the Rainbow, Melody Gardot. This is one of the songs I was talking about. This is live in Paris, female vocals and acoustic guitar. On the Deuce, sweet sounding vocals, intimate stage, sounds like you're in a studio and not a live recording. Overall, a very enjoyable playback. Guitar has nice weight. The knocks on the side of the guitar sound too light and hollow. Versus the E20, stock again, and I did a whole bunch of graphing just to see, because, and I'll pull that up here. I don't want to get into being a measures debater, but I wanted to see how it did. I wanted to see how it do on that little impedance adapter that Fat Frequency threw out there, and then I also put it on a variable adjustable impedance adapter and a 50 ohm, finally a cheap one, right? So I'll pull that up later of how that sounded, because it changes the overall tuning of the IMs, and it changes the bass shelf, more importantly. So when I say stock, so E20 stock, okay, now the stage comes to life where you were missing that on the Deuce. Vocals sound more resolving, clear, the clear plucks. Now you can hear the clear plucks on the strings, though, and the guitar knocks on the side of the guitar have more bite to them, more attack. You can hear the Melody when she's singing into the microphone. You can hear her breath. So the E20 is a more resolving set. At 3 minutes and 25 seconds, a lady coughs to your left, and going back to listen to the Deuce, you actually have to listen for it to pick it up. So again, here the E20 shows you more of the song and the information in the track itself. It's more real to life. Stage literally doubles the width and height with a much greater sense of spaciousness with the E20. It sounds now like you're in a live recording, huge venue in Paris. And then I started playing around. Okay, well, what about impedance adapters? What if I brought the bass shelf up, because it's easy to do, getting close, and it gets real close to the Deuce. On certain tracks, I will admit this, that the E20 almost seems to have a deeper specialness that the beryllium driver of the E20 does, over the Deuce even, which was not what I was expecting. First of all, the two, without any impedance adapters, needs a shit ton of juice to get going. With the 50 ohm impedance adapter that I was playing with, if you do not have a super powerful source, you're not going to drive it at all. You need to dial up the juice to get the bass shelf to pick up, and it makes it sound. The funny thing with the 50 ohm impedance adapter on the E20 is it makes it sound darker, just like the Deuce. And I really like the sound of the E20 with the non-adapter replay much better. With this 50 ohm impedance adapter, it was quite honestly hard to hear the difference between the two IMs. Okay. Deuce versus E20, really, in a nutshell, comparison, and that's the end of that, right? E20 is simply a better tuned Deuce with less bass shelf, less dark upper mids and treble, and excels over the Deuce on stage, correct tonality, resolution, details, better on female vocals and male vocals, and strings. So if you are a real true bass head, the Deuce is the undisputed champion between the two. End of story. The Deuce compared to the E20 is a one-trick bass pony. The E20 is a well-bred, thoroughbred stallion with its hair glistening in the sun. That's enough about that. What about hip-hop and rap on the Deuce? Insecurities by Little Baby. Little Baby. Oh yeah, full fun factor. I totally understood why the push in the upper mids, that harmonish kind of up there, you need that in order to add enough energy to help balance the massive bass shelf. Sometimes it gets borderline shouty. Not like us, Kendrick Lamar. The Deuce is in its element. Big boom, clean vocals. Okay. Through the E20 in there again. Cleaner vocals, just simply a better replay, more engaging, not the big bass slam, but more balanced. Bass head, Deuce. Everyone else, E20. Houdini by Eminem. I played this now on the KN-N3 Ultra. I was switching all kinds of sources. This is a very analytical, clean source. Yes, it's on modern tube mode. Don't be... when I bought that app, I thought it was going to be warm and tubey. It isn't. How did it sound? It sounded stellar. The Deuce did. Fun and bombastic. That was the best way I could describe it. On the E20, the bass was actually punchier, cleaner, crisper vocals, with you able to articulate the lyrics better. You could understand what Eminem was saying. It's like when you're listening to Ozzy in an interview and you can't understand a frickin' thing he's saying, but then he sings, you're like, oh yeah, right? Exactly like that. Bigger open stage, more balanced. So, just to wrap this up, I threw some feedback to Fat Frequency. You're going to lose a lot of fans. This whole experience has been less than stellar. You know this. I say this to you, Fat Frequency, directly. Figure out your priorities. Figure out what's more important to you, your customers or profits. Because right now it looks like profits are winning every single release. Time and time again. This isn't the first time that you've sold these units to third-party sellers while people who ordered from you are still waiting. When the collaborator has to come on and saying, don't go buy it from Fat Frequency directly, there's something wrong. I'm trying to keep this light. As light as possible. The Deuce is a fabulous IM. It's tuned in a way that is not my favorite. I was really hoping it was. I was really hoping that it would have more mid-bass to make it sound correctly. And those upper mids for me are just, it's too much for me. It's too much Sim God all over again with a huge bass shelf. The $79 that you can find for virtually half the price, $40, kills it in every single metric except for bass. Quantity. Every single metric. Stage, presence, technicalities, details, resolution, correct tonality of instrumentals, correct timbre of female, male singers, vocals, the knocks on the guitar, all of it. Even the bass sometimes has better quality over the quantity. I don't get why a year-old set, and I'm going to put in the link, my review about this, and if you wanted to know how the Deuce sounds, watch that video, because a lot of it is the same exact thing. Clean vocals, clean mids, scooped out lower bass. Upper mids are there. Enough trouble to keep it going, and upper mids to keep it balanced off enough, but this is a bombastic bass set, one trick bass pony, really, in comparison with the two. So one last thing that I'm telling you, right, what I said to Fat Frequency about this whole experience, because for you, if you were like me and a Fat Frequency fan, you've lost me right now. How you're going to get me back? This was my suggestion to Fat Frequency. Come out with another set. Don't scoop out those lower mids and add some mid bass in, please. Throw in, if you want to do the 2 dynamic drivers, that's great. Lower the upper mids a little bit, but add some extension on the top end. And I suggested, without going too much extra, add a 6mm round planar like the TRN White Tiger did. Fantastic top end and it's not expensive. And make this set, what I suggested to Fat Frequency is, this is compensation to all those people that had a horrible experience. Do you want to build back some trust? Do you want to build back a base? And do you want to show that you actually care about your fan base versus profits? So I suggested, come out with this hybrid set, right? Whether you put a couple extra ESTs for the top end, or this planar on the top end to add a little bit more extension on the top end, and price it just over your cost, right? You're not going to lose money, but you're not going to make money. And didn't go well. We'll see. That's my best advice to you, Fat Frequency. This is Tone Deaf Monk. Out for now.